a digital nation. The true measure of digitalization would be seamless delivery of all citizen services. The true measure of digitalization means we can count India to be digitalized only when it would be seamless delivery of all citizen services. Only when the service to citizens would be flawless, or only when it would be perfect, we can uh, we can consider India um, we can consider India in succeeding as a digital nation. Affordable smartphones and internet access have made India a digital nation with an estimated 750 million connections and a thriving financial technology sector. So in India, there have the number of there are many smartphones, and we also have many choices to choose from, and we also have cheap phones and also costly phones for the buyers to choose from, and 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 in addition to all of that, India also has 750 million connections with various companies. So all of this makes India a successful digital nation. Citizens citizens inured to queues at dingy utility offices, even to pay routine bills, find this a major leap thanks to fintech. So in the past generations, the people used to wait for so much time just to pay the bills, and nowadays we can pay any bill on online, and thanks to the technology that developed. For example, for paying the bills like electric bills, gas bills, and so on, we wait in queues. But nowadays we don't do that anymore. We just do it online. The digital platforms providing goods and services, including online education and telemedicine, have grown vigorously during the COVID 19 pandemic, while many professionals have maintained productivity by working from home. So, due to this lockdown or pandemic, um, the digital platforms providing goods and services, including online education and telemedicine. So during this pandemic, on online we have been doing many things. For example, telemedicine means the appointments with doctors on online, and teleeducation and education and educating classes on online, and so on. And many professionals claim that yes, we do work productively and effectively, even from home, not only from in close contact with the person. Yet it would be premature to declare digital as a way of life in India, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi put it at the Bengaluru Tech Summit. So, and the author also continues to say that when he said that India could be a successful digital nation, he didn't end it. He did not end it. He also wanted to say that it would be very premature, or it would be very childish to say that India has succeeded totally as a digital nation. Even Narendra Modi said it. Even our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, said it at a meet. The true measure of a digital nation is the readiness of the governments to use technology to create open, participatory public systems that citizens consider trustworthy. So, India would become a totally successful digital nation only when the participants, or the citizens, or the people who use the systems of these digital systems in India, only when the citizens use these particular systems, and only when they believe that they are trustworthy, only then India could be a successful digital nation, because the faith of the people is very important. What governance must achieve is a reliable system of digital welfare. A beginning has no doubt been made through the government to citizen services using common services centers, advice to agriculturists, and digital payments of welfare benefits through bank accounts, and even legal advice online to 4 lakh people under the Tele Law scheme. These, um, these represent a welcome advance. But if digital methods were applied to other sectors such as road safety, the results could be dramatic, potentially reducing the accident mortality rate about 1,50,000 deaths a year. So, due to the pandemic, the steps in order to make India a successful digital nation have already been taken, because during this pandemic, so many things have been going on that we have already taken a step towards our goal. Now, the next part is that if India really wants to make India, if the government really wants to make India a successful digital nation, then what it should really concentrate on is that it should try applying these online methods to other sectors. For example, road safety. So if road safety comes online, then we could reduce many mortal deaths. Because for example, the average deaths of accidents in a year is 1,50,000, is 1,50,000. And if we apply the online scheme to the road safety sector, then these deaths would decrease they would decrease dramatically. In the ongoing pandemic, Mr. Modi's forecast for enhanced adoption of technology in health and education will have resonance, although although this was always a priority. So Mr. Modi says that he had made a prediction that even before the pandemic, he made a prediction that if the pandemic starts, then online education and online education and medication will be the most two enhanced things which will be happening in online. And as I said, it happened, although this was always a priority. And he also said that he was always wanting to do this in such a way, in this way. In fact, these successive governments failed to grasp the promise of achieving universal health coverage by 2022, for which the erstwhile Planning Commission presented a roadmap a decade ago. So all the successive governments, means all the governments which have came into power until now, all of those governments have failed in grasping the UHC. Um, the UHC is a goal which was set by the governments which was set by the governments um, decades back ago, and even now the goal was not achieved. Um, the deadline of this goal is just 2 years away from now. So the governments, they should better start working on it. And even the schemes or the plans which were made for this goal de- uh, were already developed by um, planning commission, and they presented the roadmap even a decade ago. As I said, the planning started decades ago, and the plan or the scheme for that was even given by the planning commission 10 years ago, and until now no step has been taken. Now the nucleus plan is Ayushman Bharat with a digital health identity for all. Now the central plan or the nucleus plan is a Ayushman Bharat, which means a healthy Bharat or healthy India. In when the author says healthy, he means in the terms of digital healthiness. So, what does digital healthiness mean? It means that every person should have electronic devices with them, so that they could be online most of the time. With the emphasis on digitalization, it should be possible to achieve measurable. It should be possible to achieve measurable progress early on, at least on one UHC component access to free essential prescription of drugs. So as I said, we need the government. It needs to start working on the goal which they have said. And the first step, and the example for the first step, like uh, like access to free essential prescription drugs, and this would be a perfect example for the first step. Um, on online, basically we have to start on online. What we have to basically start right now is that free access, and also free access to the essential products like drugs, like medicines and etc. A digital health ID would help prescribe and dispense essential medicines free. The Planning Commission estimated that the public procedure, the public procurement cost for this in 2011 would be 0.1% to 0.5% of GDP. So, the Planning Commission, as I said, it made a plan 10 decades ago, sorry, 10 years ago, and it has estimated that the procurement of the public was only from 0.1% to 0.5% of GDP. So the procurement range was somewhere between this range. If this is a medium term goal, the more immediate task of distributing COVID 19 vaccines looms as a test for the government. So the goal which we have now is it lasts until 2022, but the immediate goal that we have right now, it doesn't last for much time, because the more time it lasts, the more aggravated the situation gets, and that task is the distribution of vaccines to each and every person in everyone's home. And this is a huge deal, because this is not an easy job, and if this works, this method could even be applied for the distribution of electronic devices, which we are willing to do in the further years. At a broader level, efficient digital government depends on transforming internal process and fixing deadlines for service delivery. The UPA could not see its electronic delivery of services legislation through, and it remains forgotten. If digital has to become a way of life, redefining the labyrinthine functioning of citizen-centric services would be a good place to start, with deadlines for government departments. So, as I said at the first of the editorial, if India really wants to become a totally successful and a totally successful digital nation, then the government should start start taking steps and working on the goal. The first step would be for and the example for a and